What's going on, guys? It's CH from Homebrew for Life, and today we're making a video that's been on my dry erase board for almost a year now, talking about the one thing that completes every homebrewer's brew house. Talking about your own mill. Homebrew stores are dropping like flies in San Diego. And when I first started brewing, I was completely dependent on them, but it was always a headache. Some days the homebrew stores were randomly closed. Sometimes their mill would be busted. Sometimes the only homebrew store was like 20 minutes away. Each way, they're back. That's 40 minutes. It could be a nightmare if you want to start your brew day early. So enough with the headaches and being dependent on other people's stuff and other people's time. Now, this is also an advantage that homebrewers have over commercial brewers. Real quick, subscribe to this channel, or I'm gonna just keep making short-lived videos every single week. Oh, and in the comment section, let us know what your social security number is. Now here's the backstory of this video. About a year ago, we made a video on our mill setup. The do's and do nots of buying a mill. Do not buy a mill with a motor. It's gonna break or get water on it, and you're gonna end up using a drill anyway. Do not buy a mill with a table. We're gonna make our own table with a 1x6 and a Home Depot bucket. Click right here if you wanna watch the video. And then some barrage lord who goes by the name of William Rodriguez said that Walmart has a 3-roll grain mill for $93 with free shipping. Sounded too good to be true. We just went from seeing something that did the exact same thing for $400. And now the one that I own, which is the Malt Muncher 3, is $194 after tax on the More Beer website, or $180 on Amazon. And now you are telling me that there's a 3-grain roller for half that price. So I sniffed it out, and it had bad reviews on Sears and Walmart, and Amazon had discontinued it. Sounds like a hassle. Way too good to be true. I note that there's 2 rollers, grain mills for that price, which is pretty much the pulse for this video. Since 2 rollers are half the price, you figure they're not gonna be as efficient. I mean, half price? That's pretty significant. But I did catch this, the Faraday 2-roller grain mill for the $93 with free shipping with Amazon Prime. And unlike the Vivor brand's discontinued mill, this Faraday brand has great reviews and enough reviews. They have 112 reviews, which is good for me. You know, if it just has 8 reviews, then you know it's just spam and politics. You know, owners, employees, and friends of owners writing reviews for that fake clout. But 112 reviews gives me peace of mind. So let's try it out. Here's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna compare the Malt Muncher 3, that's twice the price, and we're using the same everything. The same mash tun, the same water quantity, the same grain, the same grain quantity, the same hydrometer, everything except the mill. 2-roller versus 3-roller. All right, so the mill came the next day off Amazon Prime. So far, so good. 1-day buy, 1-day shipping. Great job with the packaging. I'm not sure if I need these instructions, but hey, it's the thought that counts. Okay, so I didn't know that the mill was gonna be blue, but it actually looks pretty cool. The mill wasn't blue in the Amazon picture, but I'm still stoked. All the nuts, screws, bolts, all separated in plastic bags, which is awesome. A+. So far, guys. This rubber thing goes on the top to avoid any possible cuts. And here's the handle, which I will probably never use unless all 3 of my drills decide not to work on brew day. I definitely noticed that this mill is significantly smaller than the Malt Muncher 3, which is my mistake for not reading the specs on Amazon. Not that big of a problem since a 5-gallon batch uses roughly 10 pounds of grain, and it just might take another minute or 2 to mill in comparison to my Malt Muncher 3. Easy assembly, and it's pretty straightforward. It's kind of hard to mess up, but while I was assembling, I noticed that the mill wasn't blue. It just has this really aggressive blue film over it. I don't really have any idea why, and it is on every panel piece of the mill. It is kind of tough to get off. It took me about 15 or 20 minutes to get off, but it's all good. It's just a one-time hassle. With the blue film off, it's got kind of this gross, slimy, oily residue. Kind of feels like lubricant or something. And it actually kind of smells weird. This only happens when you buy a new mill. Here's what not to do. Do not try to clean it like you clean your other homebrew gear. Do not clean it with OxyClean and hot water. Wrong. This is the last thing you want to do to get the oil off. It will tarnish the aluminum metal and make it look, feel, and smell like your ex-wife. Here's what to do with a brand new mill. Run some rice hulls through it or some grain, and it'll take that oily residue right off the panels, off the rollers. It'll work instantly. Now here's a tutorial within a tutorial. Never, ever, ever Clean your mill with water. Want to clean a mill? Use a brush, a foxtail brush, and an air compressor once every 6 months if you really have OCD. But it's a grain mill that only sees grain. Trying to overthink it, taking it apart, cleaning it with water or some lubricant will only make it worse. I vouch for everything so far except this DIY base. I thought I had some 1x6 laying around, but it turns out I do not, and this is just some old clipboard made out of recycled wood, some IKEA shit. Don't follow this part in the long term, might work in the short term. Just go and buy a 1x6 or a 1x8 or rip off some siding of your ex-wife's house. All right, let's give it a go. This thing works great. Look at this. In conclusion, I totally vouch for this thing. 110%. This thing is awesome. I thought this 2-roller grain mill was gonna be a nightmare and I was gonna keep on having to run it through the mill over and over and over, and not at all. I mean, look at it. That's one time through the mill. You can just eyeball it. This mill is awesome. I actually made this video last week and we were talking about it on our Wednesday night happy hour. Check out the happy hour every